Hey everybody, it's Trags alongside CLNS media colleague Alex Barth. A new toy for Tom Brady, but this is not just any old toy. This is one of the best receivers, one of the most skilled receivers in the National Football League, not Dez Bryant, but Josh Gordon. Alex, if he can get on the field for Tom Brady, this opens up a whole new level of potential for Josh McDaniels and Tom Brady.
Yeah, we've seen the revolving door wide receiver since the start of the league year. Mike Reese has done a great job keeping us updated. I think this was the 24th wide receiver transaction the Patriots made, 23 and 24.
Right.
You include releasing Coleman, but this isn't one of those try out 2 weeks, probably going to get cut contracts. Corey Coleman, we thought was a splash last week. He's now gone. Just like that for Josh Gordon. That should tell you what the Patriots think of him. People want to compare him to Brandon Cooks, and stylistically, yes, that's an apt comparison, but for the impact he can make, and this name's been thrown around a lot today. I think some people do it lightly. I promise you I do not. The difference he can make in this offense, no player has stepped in and been able to make that kind of difference, had the potential to make that difference since Randy Moss in 2007. I'm not saying Gordon's going to do that. I'm saying if everything goes right, we're looking at some serious comparisons there.
Okay, he's 6'3". He is a beast of a receiver.
Yeah.
He is a big,
and not just
strong
6'3",
receiver
6'3" with a
great
4.4 40.
With a 4.4 40, but more importantly, Alex, and this matters to Tom Brady, great hands.
Yes.
Best example of that, week number 1, the end of the Steelers game in regulation. He makes that terrific catch at the corner of the end zone to force overtime. Obviously, that game ended in a 21-21 tie. But the potential that Josh Gordon brings for Tom Brady. But I want to throw this in there.
Yep.
Okay, here's the red herring. He's got to prove himself ready to be on the field for this Patriots offense. Otherwise, the Patriots do not put the stipulation in the contract that, or in the deal with the Cleveland Browns and the NFL, that if he's inactive 10 times or more, then the Patriots get another 7th-rounder back. Of course, the Patriots are giving Cleveland a 5th-round pick. So at the worst, the Patriots get 2 7th-rounders for a 5th-rounder.
Which is something Bill Belichick would do anyway.
Exactly.
And to get to the crux of your point, that's kind of the positive and negative with Josh Gordon. It's glass half full, glass half empty. The guys the Patriots have been bringing in, Corey Coleman, speed demon, Kenny Britt, red zone threat, Jordan Matthews, possession receiver. They were guys who did one thing. They did it well, but they did one thing. They had one purpose. The speed, the hands, the route running ability of Josh Gordon. You can go anywhere from throwing him screens, using him in the slot, to using him as a deep threat, to using him as a jump ball receiver with the size you mentioned at 6'3". He can do a little bit of everything. The flip side of that is the Patriots are probably going to want him to do a little bit of everything, which means it's that much more for him to learn in the playbook. It's that many more routes he has to be able to run. It's that many more assignments he has to be able to memorize. And can a guy who, at times, it looked like had trouble learning in Cleveland with the Cleveland Browns, can he pick that up in New England? Now, maybe it was a lack of coaching. Cleveland has had nowhere near the coach or the quarterback, frankly.
Stability,
that he has
Alex,
in New
is
England.
the word.
There's stability here. So can he pick that all up? Sure. I'm not expecting a huge game from him in week 3. If he plays, they may give him 5 to 10 snaps. We'll see how long the learning curve is. But the question is, how much of the offense can he pick up? Because they will give him as many assignments as they can, because he can do just about anything. The question is, how much of that can he absorb and actually carry out?
Here's the X's and O's part of this, because people are wondering, why now? Why do the Patriots go out and get Josh Gordon and not a Dez Bryant? He can separate for one, but the real big reason I think they go out and get Josh Gordon is we saw on Sunday against Jacksonville, teams are going to plug the middle and try to jam all of the routes over the middle, the crossing routes, and most importantly, the seam route, the patented seam route of Rob Gronkowski. Gronk did not have a great game on Sunday.
No.
Part of that was Tom couldn't get him the ball, but the other part was Rob had really nowhere to go over the middle of the field. Josh Gordon, one of the things he brings is he is a 6'3" beast from numbers to the sideline. That, to me, is the real reason why the Patriots went out and got a Josh Gordon.
They don't have anybody who can do that right now, especially with Julian Edelman suspended. Now, that's only 2 weeks, and you could look at Edelman and Gordon being added to the offense at the same time if Gordon's inactive for the next 2 weeks, which there's a chance of. I think it's small, but there's a chance of that. But you're right. The Patriots now going to be able to, and this is what Brandon Cooks helped them with last year, and what I think they want Philip Dorsett to do, but they need him more in other areas. They need that at perimeter threat, that outside threat. Tom Brady can use the field now sideline to sideline, and that's when he's at his best. I hate to keep going back to 2007 because that was such a special year, and it's tough to compare that to the offense we saw yesterday. But I think back to 2007 when Tom Brady could use the whole field. They had Dante Stallworth's speed, Wes Welker's hands, and of course Randy Moss, and you had to defend sideline to sideline against that team.
Correct.
One last 2007 reference. I was texting my brother today, and he brought up an interesting point. The potential with this offense now, with Josh Gordon, with Edelman coming back, with Philip Dorsett emerging, you know what this team has that 2007 doesn't? Rob Gronkowski.
Correct. And that is a great point. And obviously, Randy Moss was getting all those balls in 2007. Gronk is the number one target in this offense. When he's healthy, that's where Tom Brady really wants to go. And again, to me, that's why they went out and got a Josh Gordon. Now, I want to ask you a question.
Yep.
Tom Brady, is he on board with this initially, or is he like, why are we bringing in a guy with behavioral issues in his background? Obviously well documented, has had trouble staying in the league, has been through suspensions. Why are we bringing this guy in? I don't think he necessarily looks at it that way. I think the Patriots are, look, Tom, we're doing everything to give you elite level talent. This is not Dez Bryant. This is somebody potentially even better.
Oh, much better.
Ability to separate. That's the one reason Dez Bryant, in talking to people around the league, why he really can't find the job right now, because he can't separate. If you cannot separate in the NFL, you're really not going to have a job.
So as for how Brady feels about this, I think if I had to put terms on it and to get inside his head is tough, but if I'm him, I'm in that spot, knowing what I know about Brady, I think he's begrudgingly optimistic here because, yes, it is, okay, why do we have to bring in the guy with all this baggage? Why does it have to be a guy that I'm going to get asked about a bunch and there's all these side stories now? But at the same time, Brady's never shown to be too picky with the wide receivers as long as they'll put in the work. If Josh Gordon shows up, whatever it is, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, whenever he gets to Foxboro and is out there before practice running routes with Brady, stays after run routes with Brady, buries his head in that playbook, etc., I don't see any reason why Tom wouldn't like it because in the past he's shown that guys who are willing to put that work in, he has no problem with. If Gordon shows up, does the bare minimum, I think Tom Brady's going to be upset, but that's not specific to Josh Gordon. That's not specific to his situation. I think you could say the same about any receiver.
MRI cleared Josh Gordon's hamstring, so that has been okayed.
Right.
Obviously, the Patriots don't do the deal if there was a significant issue with his hamstring. Contract deal, he is going to make about $700,000 in 2018. Patriots have him under control for 2019. However, like you said earlier, like Brandon Cooks, he is a restricted free agent in 2019, so he's playing for his football life.
He is, and the Patriots will have him in theory under team control with that restricted free agent, but we saw it with Brandon Cooks, we saw it this year with Danny Shelton. The guys the Patriots acquire via trade, they don't like to pick up that option. Even with one of their own, Malcolm Brown, they didn't pick it up, so they're not a fan of that fifth-year option. So this may be Josh Gordon's last chance, as is the case for so many guys who come through New England. It's kind of, well, if you can't work here, you're not going to work anywhere, and that maybe plays into Tom Brady's favor and the team's favor and what I said before. He has every reason to show up and do the work. He's got to put his head down for 5 months, 4 or 5 months, and put together the best 4 to 5 months of football of his life. If he can do that, he'll hit the open market more likely than not, get paid, and then he can do whatever he wants because he's going to get a lot of guaranteed money. But it is in his best interest and the team's best interest for him to cut out all the distractions, put his head down, and go. And there's nowhere better to do that than in this building behind us.
The Patriots offense just got a lot more interesting. Josh Gordon is a member of the 2018 Patriots. Stay tuned to CLNS Media for all of your coverage on Twitter at Patriots CLNS. He's Alex Barth. I'm Mike Petraglia. Outside Gillette Stadium, CLNS Media.